All right, everyone, this is the Marshal speaking. John here. Just wanted to do a Q&A. I know it's not a whole lot of questions, but I thought I'd get to it. But before we get to the Q&A, head on over to the Alternative Project if you're trying to get a daily dose of Muv Love. And same with the Yamamoto mech battles. If you're looking for that daily dose of mecha battles or even Muv Love, if that's your topic of interest. So head on over there and check their channels out. Fealty Knight asks the first question. He's head of the Alternative Project, and Fealty Knight asks, what made you start this channel? And this one brings a smile to my face. This channel was inspired by channels such as the Temple Institute, Yamamoto Mech Battles, and I even enjoyed watching the Alternative Project's channel as well. And it really started out with, I tried working for the Temple Institute. I know, funny, right? I was just interested in being a part of something that I could just really geek out on and be like a military geek or a sci-fi geek, all that stuff. We had common interests, things like Star Wars, Command and Conquer, just numerous factions that they had covered that I had interest in, but I also had interest in anime stuff, and I was like, nobody's really covering this, and nobody's really touching this area. So my brother told me, why don't you just go ahead and cover it? So shout out to bro. I really appreciate him giving me that fuel to go ahead and cover this area. And I didn't think it was really going to pop off or anybody was going to show any interest. The fact that people are interested in this really brings a smile, and now people are throwing ideas and suggestions and they want to see more of it, and that's great. But Mark and his team really paved the way for being like the unifier of military sci-fi lore and stuff like that. And now I want to be one for anime, specifically military sci-fi anime and mecha, as well as any other military anime. I would just like to try to step into there and just kind of geek out. I've also looked at other universes too, like BattleTech and stuff like that. So yeah, that's just the main inspiration is Temple Institute. It turns out that I tried to apply and I wasn't accepted, or I looked at it from a conventional lens and saying like, where do I apply at or something like that, not thinking like, what do I bring to the table? So I just thought, well, why don't I just take my hand at trying to learn editing and design and all that stuff and writing. And yeah, that's just how really the birth of Ares Academy. And I know some people have also asked this too, which is a follow-up to this. Some people have asked, why did you name it Ares Academy? And the meaning behind that is, I was just sitting with my friend as I was coming up with the idea of this channel. I'm talking about military stuff, and I want to give it a military academy theme. So why not name it after the god of war? If I'm going to name it after a military academy, then it should be about the god of war, which is Ares. It's the god of war. It's about talking about military topics, war, maybe politics, and maybe revisit the political realm again. I know Legend of Galactic Heroes has a lot of things pertaining to politics, which follows up with the next question. And so the next question is from Logan W1232. Logan asks, are you still planning to do more Legend of Galactic Heroes videos? The short answer is yes. The main problem is time. Time is like the biggest enemy. So unfortunately, I work a 40-hour work week, and by having a job, a grown-up job, and having to worry about bills and stuff like that, it takes more time to dedicate to watching, researching, all that stuff. So it takes a lot of time. I know in the opening for the Turian Hierarchy Navy, there was a list of projects, and one of those projects was Operation Ragnarok. I still want to get to that, and that's going to take some time, and I have to rewatch the show, and that's going to take some time. I've written up notes for it, but there's also some topics I would like to cover too with Legend of Galactic Heroes. So I want to get to it, but just give me some more time and to try to work on things. I know Legend of Galactic Heroes is a classic series and highly underrated, an appreciated series. I was also looking at, and I just want to go off topic a little bit too, but I was looking at some other series too, like Titania, which is heavily underrated. Great show, talks about like this massive behemoth galactic empire that is ran by some overlords. It's like nobles. These group of nobles belonging to this group called Titania. They're the ones pulling the strings and the levers behind the scenes, and they're kind of like orchestrating things. I think it was written by the same guy who did Legend of Galactic Heroes. I would say check that out too. It's a really good show. I'm very close to finishing it. I just have a few more episodes left, but it's great. I enjoyed it. I was always wondering what's going to happen next to the main character. It's like the main character is stuck in a hard and a rock place. I don't want to spoil too much, but for my viewers out there, just check it out. I think Zolan had recommended that, or Zola had recommended that, but Zola's been recommending some really good stuff too. And I just want to ramble about a couple other more things. Like, I've been looking at BattleTech and Twilight Imperium. Those are some great areas of interest. I've never really played Twilight Imperium. I would like to, but time. I know you could play it online and all that stuff, but it's just time. And I think it's a very interesting topic or area of interest. I even have the book I'm looking at. It's called like Empire's Fall. Really great book to read on and learn about the fall of the Lazek Empire. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but the Lazek Empire is like this behemoth empire that like beat out I forgot the name of it. It was like they were like these kings that just had this dark twisted kind of magic. I'm probably getting that wrong a little bit, but they were like the new galactic hegemon. And I like studying galactic hegemons or even universal hegemons. If you got any universal hegemons out there or any universal empires, throw them at me. I'm all ears. But the Lazek Empire shows like it's supposed to be about the downfall of the Lazek Empire and how the state of the Twilight Imperium, I believe it's 4th edition, how that world came to be, like why everybody's at war with each other. It kind of reminded me of BattleTech, where you had like the Star League Defense Force was like this hegemonic entity, and although the Lazek Empire was much larger, but the Star League Defense Force is like this powerhouse military, and then that fell too. So I like studying hegemonic or powerhouse military factions as well. So if you got any suggestions, just throw them at me. I know everybody's throwing these ideas. I'm really gonna choose the ones that stand out to me the most, that are of interest to me, and going forward I'm just gonna pick and choose that. If you have something that's of those topics, I'm curious to hear that as well too. But yeah, I appreciate everybody's support out there, everybody who's liked the channel, everybody who's viewed these videos and taking time out of their day. I know a lot's going on, so I appreciate it. There's one last thing I want to mention before signing off. The Patreon, I know I haven't given that much thought. The reason why I haven't given it much thought is I'm in a new experimental phase, trying out new editing techniques, new ideas to come up with, possibly putting behind the Patreon for Patreon. But I was just going to throw this out there. If somebody is willing to invest in Project Sword and Shield, if you have the money, because I understand money's tight for everybody and I totally get that. Somebody's willing to invest in Project Sword and Shield, which was mainly putting up a website and building a database of fictional militaries that I have interest in. If somebody's interested in doing that, that would be greatly appreciated. I really would appreciate it. I'm just suggesting this and putting it out there. If you're interested, let me know. I could try to do something for you, or maybe some behind the scenes stuff, or maybe some other ideas that you may have that you may want to see, possibly. if you're interested, let me know. I'm all ears. All right, well, that's the Q&A. If you want to comment below and ask more questions, maybe I can do a part 2 follow-up. I know there weren't many questions in this one, but thanks for asking. Thanks to Fealty Knight and Logan for asking. I know this is long overdue, and probably the time to have done it would have been the 1,000 subscriber mark, or maybe 2,000 subscriber mark. But yeah, I just wanted to cover this and just see where everybody's head's at. And also I appreciate, again, the support, the people that have contributed, even the previous Patreon person. They supported me for 3 months, and I appreciate the donation. I want to give a shout out to them. Yeah, I believe it was somebody by the name of Dan. And I appreciate them willing to support the channel financially. So I'm grateful. If you have given anything to the Patreon, thank you. If you have shown any kind of support, thank you. That means a lot. All right, well, if you have any suggestions or comments below, go ahead and do so. And you know the drill: like, subscribe, share, and turn on the notification bell to stay tuned for future updates. This is the Marshal signing off. Enjoy your week.